We can't do the what's up.
No, we can't do that because you can't take someone else's thing.
That means we need a thing.
See, I was thinking
we have your music.
We would write.
They were just enjoying your 8-bit music.
It's not 8-bit.
16?
No.
32.
No.
64-bit.
Sure. I don't know.
Your 64-bit music, the theme, the new theme. You gotta tell us how you like the theme, because the theme has now been made for the
and the
Aaron's gamer chat
and the gamer chat. The little voice at the end. It's actually the text to speech thing on our phone. I just typed it and had it set. Had the.
Why are you giving out the secrets, man?
Because
you don't give
sounds
away
cool.
the secrets.
Because it sounds cool.
You go, God. You're trying to figure out what we're going to eat for lunch, and the problem is the mommy wants to default to
Why is lasagna?
Lasagna and macaroni and cheese when she doesn't know what else to make.
Yeah, why is Sundays like pasta day?
Aaron, look at the camera.
I'm looking.
I want to make sure that you're in focus because.
Italian.
Okay.
I don't want to make.
Make a command decision.
Are you in focus?
I don't know. I think we're both. I think we're okay. All right. So, if I'm a little fuzzy, I'm normally fuzzy, so it's okay.
I thought about.
If you saw me on the street, I'd be fuzzy.
I thought about through the week, we just like write down what we play, and then we can talk about that.
I don't need to write it down. It's all right there. Mostly because it was yesterday.
Well,
outside of what's the new Candy Crush?
No, we're not talking about Candy Crush.
What is the new Candy Crush with Friends? I think it's called.
Yeah.
Outside of that, which is basically a daily
listening to
podcasts, playing thing that I do. Outside of that, I'm pretty much now on the weekend, playing games now. So I played yesterday. So trying to remember what I played is really not that hard.
Yeah, I didn't play much.
Really? No For Honor?
No.
What?
Because
Wait a minute, that was the new hotness.
Yeah,
I mean, the new old hotness.
Yeah. Because I can't get past this one part, and I was trying to like level up and get my characters better, but the only way you do that is playing the multiplayer. Nobody's playing the multiplayer.
Because it's so new.
Yeah, no.
It's so new. For Honor is so new. But you know what? It came out in 2017. Why aren't people playing it?
I don't know, but it was like Doom.
Okay, based on what you've played so far, why do you think people are not playing it? Why don't you have a big base of people out there playing this game?
I don't know. Because I was playing it during the whole Assassin's Creed crossover thing, and I thought.
So what happened with that?
That would attract people, but.
What happened with that?
I don't know.
It's not in Assassin's Creed.
It's not. Nothing For Honor is in there.
I didn't say anything for Honor in there.
All they did, I thought it was gonna be like some big thing, like you would have the characters. You know, like the characters you play as in Assassin's Creed would be in For Honor or something like that.
And what'd you get?
Nothing. They changed, like, I think it's the same technology. Like in the history of the game.
Keep talking.
I think it's the Animus is the same technology, because when you like go into a map, it that's what that was. When you go into a map, it loads like Assassin's Creed.
Okay. Like using the Animus.
Yeah. And like I said before, some of the little soldier guys have the Assassin's Creed emblem on their backs. Mm-hmm. Other than that, it was just emotes.
What's an emote?
Just a little like motion that you can do, like waving or some sort of battle stance or something.
So if I do this, it's an emote?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah. Something that'll look cool. I don't know. It's a movement
Does
that your
this look
character
cool?
a movement that your character does that you can trigger. So the one was the leap of faith. So your character would like jump and fall into a hay bale.
Oh, there was actually hay bales.
No.
I did.
You were on the ground.
FYI, you can do a leap of faith without a hay bale.
What? You can what? No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No.
Yes, you
You
can.
can do it into water.
No, you can do it on land.
Does he survive?
In Odyssey, you can do a leap of faith into the ground.
Do you die?
No,
Oh.
but it does take away health.
Well, yeah. 'Cause some of the places in Origins, you would straight up just
Nope.
goo.
This is Greek islands. I didn't do it on purpose.
Oh.
I was on the point, fast travel point. I was standing there. I went into the map, checked out some stuff, checked my inventory and all that kind of thing, and then I came back into the game and was like, okay, cool, let's go on to the next thing. I jumped off and wham, hit the ground. And I turned around and looked back, and the hay bale was like up on a ledge that was like over there.
Oh.
Yep. I was like, okay. That was not cool, but it was funny.
I think the other thing that they did with the Assassin's Creed, they just had skins. So like
Okay.
different pieces of armor and different weapons from Odyssey,
Okay.
and it was like boring. I think what happened was everybody that
It was
because when I got into it the first time, I did go into multiplayer and there was like a bunch of people there, and I think what happened was everybody went and said, "Oh, cool, they're doing this sort of crossover thing," and they went into it and it's like, this is all just cosmetic stuff. Like, there's no gameplay to this. Well, that's boring. I'm leaving now.
There you go.
I stopped playing a long time ago because I got either finished with the story or got bored with it, or I couldn't get past this point. And now
So isn't there multiplayer in this game?
there is.
Okay, but
in the
isn't there
multiplayer, you
isn't there
use-
multiplayer that people are playing?
I don't know, because last time I got into a multiplayer, nobody was there. I was the only one in the lobby.
You might
For
need,
like
you might
an
need to
hour.
do some research because it took 3 days to download that stupid game because I got it now.
For Honor?
Yeah. And now you're telling me it's shitty. and
No,
I'm
no, no. The
not
game
gonna-
is good.
I'm not gonna
but
be
the
able to.
multiplayer, just nobody's really
I
playing
know,
it
but
right now.
so now I have it for no reason. I
No,
don't
you
feel
have
that.
it for a
I don't
reason.
feel the honor here.
The game is fun.
We'll
It's
see.
it's difficult.
It took
and
3
it's
days to
challenging.
download.
How does it? How do you have 3 days?
No,
to
no, it
download
said
something?
it was going to take 3 days to download.
Mine was like before I went to bed. It finished.
It
Like,
said,
I bought it and downloaded it in the same day and started playing it.
well, it didn't work like that for me.
It seems like it takes way longer for you to download.
But you have a
games.
faster computer too.
Do I?
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
you've got the fastest computer in the house.
Alright. I'm cool with that.
So that could be also one reason it can process the information that's getting
Up
faster.
with the Ethernet.
I am hooked up
You're
with the
hooked
Ethernet
up.
with the yellow cable and everything.
Yellow cable. You're plugged in.
I am plugged in like the Matrix.
I
Anyway.
thought that was the whole reason you did that. So
That
you
is
be
one
faster.
reason. It is so that I could be faster with, and I'm sitting next to the router using Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
No.
I might as well take advantage of the faster connection.
Right. Especially when you can plug it in with a cord and it's got slack. Like,
And
now
I'm
you're
supposed
that
to
far
be
away from it.
with my killer. Killer Ethernet. I'm supposed to be able to have both things going at the same time, but that hasn't been working out very well. It will use both connections.
The Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi and the Ethernet, it'll use both. So for some traffic that's slow, it will use the Wi-Fi. For other traffic that needs to be faster, it'll use the Ethernet, and it'll make the choice back and forth.
Like a smart swap kind of
Yep.
thing.
But I haven't seen that working very well at all. So I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know. But I don't know.
What? What else you been playing?
I played some of the Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which I said I was gonna do last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I played some of that yesterday.
And impressions?
You can still do a leap of faith in the hay bales.
Can you jump out of, not into the hay bale?
Huh?
Like smack into the ground like I did?
No. Actually, no. You can't do a leap of faith onto the ground, but you can jump off of something onto the ground and you like roll. You do a combat roll. And
But can you do it from that height?
No. It doesn't let you. It doesn't let you jump off. Yeah. If you're that high
All I gotta do is jump off to the side. That's essentially what I did. Instead of so when he goes up and it goes and comes back, then when you're there, you're in the position to do the leap of faith into the hay bale. Just turn and try to jump off. See what happens. Report back next week.
I don't know, but it's an older game, so I don't know.
Try it.
That is one thing that I have kind of a peeve about, because you can, if you go back, you can definitely see how they refined and made the combat and the movement and everything way better.
Speaking of combat,
they made it way better.
so you're in. So basically, we both have played Origins. Yeah. So we both can talk about like what's happening in Origins. But then you went back in time to Black Flag.
Yes.
I went forward to the current Odyssey.
Right. And
Now-
I had gone back before with Syndicate.
Right.
And that was a little better than Black Flag, but it was also after it. So.
But now, combat. Oh God. Combat. Okay, so mild spoilers for those of you that haven't gotten to Odyssey yet, but most likely, since we have, no money and stuff, we play games when it goes on a Steam sale.
Yes. Steam sales are amazing.
So because of that, everybody else already knows all this, so I don't know if it's really a spoiler anymore. But I'm sitting here, I'm playing. I told you last week. I think I said something about the fact that I was like level 5 or level 4, and it was super difficult for me to get past this point.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all this stuff trying to just get up just a little bit because I got to beat this guy, and he's an ass, and he keeps killing me, and he's in an area that I need to do something else, but I can't do the something else because he's in the area, and oh God, make him go away, and okay. That was last week.
You can't run away.
I got past. You can run, but they chase you.
Okay, continue.
Like they will actually chase you, and they'll tell you to get back here.
See, the Phalanx didn't ever chase you.
No, they chased you as far as they could see you.
Right, you could hide from them. You could get.
So, but you could like go over the next hill, and then they would kind of like say, give up and kind of hang around an area, and then they would move along. They would move away. Whereas these guys, they're like, no, he's gonna come back because he's got to do that thing over there. So anyway,
so they're a bit smarter.
Yeah, they're smarter and way, way, way harder to beat. And you don't have a whole lot of abilities, and you definitely don't have a whole lot of ability to use the abilities.
Gotcha.
And so you're learning how to fight really well. And one of the things that this game does is that it so let's say you're fighting again. Let's say your object is to go kill this guy, right?
Yeah.
All right. That happens a lot in Assassin's Creed. Go get this guy. So you go get the guy, but when you're fighting the guy, all of a sudden, 10 or 15 other people come running over to freaking kill you, and they don't stand around. So you turn your back to them to fight someone else. They step up and start beating you. It's like, dude, what?
Yeah.
And then when you're trying to get away, there's always some guy with some arrows, and he's shooting at your ass.
Oh my God!
And then
in Black Flag, they don't have arrows anymore.
Yeah,
in Black Flag, they have guns, and
well, that makes sense.
well, yes, because it's
Pirates.
Yeah. But I went and I was trying to get away because the whole, like, the end of the mission was use a smoke bomb, which was the new ability. Use a smoke bomb, get out of there, because you can't fight all these guys. So I use the smoke bomb and I start running away, and then I'm climbing up a ladder, and some dude shoots me, and I slide down the ladder, and he shoots me again, and I keep sliding down the ladder, and I can't get away. But I can't really run in a straight line because then they'll run and tackle you, and it's like,
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do then? I don't have any guns yet. I can't.
You gotta be sneaky.
I can't go all.
You gotta bring it. You gotta bring in your hitman skills.
Screw Hitman. I hate Hitman. Freaking
So-
47.
So
QR code on the back of his head.
so I'm playing yesterday, and I'm fighting this guy, and he keeps killing me. It's the first like main guy that's the bounty hunter coming after you, and I'm
have to
learning.
kill him?
You have to.
Oh.
And you're going after him, and I'm like many times of dying, but I'm trying to learn how to do the combat, how to dodge, how to time, and I'm just trying different things. Finally kill the dude, yay me, and then I have to go back. I have to go after the Cyclops guy, so I go after him.
Okay.
He's not an actual Cyclops, just a guy missing an eye. But I go
Well,
after
then
him.
He would be a Cyclops.
No. Cyclops had one eye in the middle.
I know, but if you only have one eye, then you
No,
are
but
technically a
he's
Cyclops.
not. Remember, this is Greek mythology.
This is not a real
They
Cyclops.
call him a Cyclops, and Cyclops were supposed to be stupid and big and dopey. So
And Sons of Poseidon.
stop it. So anyway,
Sorry, the nerd took
so
it.
I get past this part. I get to where I can get a boat. All of a sudden, I'm now level 6. I'm like, yes, I finally have gotten to the point where I can do the stuff where I am. Title screen. And I'm like, what the? I've been playing for hours now. I just got to like level 5, level 6. And there's the title screen.
Yeah, in Black Flag you go. I don't think you have levels in Black Flag, because none of your enemies have levels. At least not what I've seen. The first time you do a leap of faith, when he goes up and you synchronize and it does that big shot, that's when it comes up, and it's like an hour and a half into the game or whatever,
I couldn't believe it.
and it's like, come on now.
It actually said Ubisoft Presents. And I was like, what? It's like I just did all this craziness.
I
and
know
it's-
who made the
it's-
stupid game.
It's just beginning. This is now like this is day zero.
I just played the prologue.
Oh God, yes. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow,
Yeah.
that was a lot of shit. Because I'm not great at combat in a lot of these games. I have to learn how to do it, and I'm old school, so I want to learn I want to use the moves that I keep getting in the tree, and you know I don't have that many, so it's like you're trying to use them, but as you're trying to use them, of course they're killing you.
Yeah.
So you know that kind of thing.
And like you said before, it gets kind of overwhelming with all this because they throw so much at you.
Yeah.
Within like the first 10 minutes of you playing, in For Honor, and not really in Black Flag because it's older, but in For Honor it's very similar to Origins in the combat kind of, and they throw so much at you. It's like, okay, I can do this, but when am I gonna do that?
Button masher.
Yeah, and
Become an experienced button masher.
Yeah, and I-
like take the controller, put it down, and be like, that's how you do it.
In Mortal Kombat, you
Mortal
actually there's
Kombat.
a challenge where you have to button mash.
See, button
And
mash.
you have to hit it a certain amount of times until the circle gets smaller into like a green area, and then you can chop something. And it actually says at some point, I think it says, put your controller down and just start
Like
hit-
old school, like
Yeah.
the arcade game,
Yeah.
where you would
And
get
you
a
just
stick
hit
and
it
2
all.
buttons, and then you had to You wear out your fingertips doing that shit.
And yeah, it's
Just wait until you get to the trackball.
okay.
Trackball was awesome.
Wasn't that on the Centipede machine that we saw?
Yeah,
That was
Centipede had a trackball.
I was standing there. I've never been in an arcade with any of those machines, and I was sitting there like, "What the frick is
Arcades
this?"
were fun, man, because you know what? Arcades, like when you think about it, it wasn't solitary, even though it was kind of you and maybe one other person was playing that cabinet, right?
Yeah.
All right, but it was kind of
Well, that's what they
interactive
have
because there were other
cabinets.
people around and people would watch the game play.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
would kind of walk by and see what's going on and see how you're doing. It was kind of
Trying to see if you can.
It was
beat the
like-
high score. Or
like
whatever.
everybody in the arcade against the games.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, you're doing really well today, or you know, you'd see the same people and you may not even be friends with them. You just saw them because we all got rolls of quarters and fed them into the machines. But yeah, that weird thing of you know, you playing this thing and
I guess we
yeah,
did kind of have that.
you gotta do that. It's like playing real pinball machines. It's the
Yeah.
same feeling. You're
I've
kind
never
of
done that either.
yeah. It's that thing where you're it's you and the machine. You're really connected to it. It's not one controller for all these different
Right.
games, and basically you learn how to manipulate this controller to do whatever you're doing on the screen today. Even on a Windows PC, you're basically using a controller or using keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
But the idea of kind of because the video machine, not that little one that you saw here,
No,
but
the
the
big
actual machine, it sort of wraps around a bit. So like you
It
could like
immerses
lean
you,
forward
yeah.
and you're kind of in the machine, but you're controlling things and yeah, it's a different
I mean,
experience.
we
And-
kind of had that in China, but it was only with shooters. So you'd have like the gun that was attached to the machine, and you have to shoot things, and I mean that was it. But they didn't.
you need the old games.
Right. And
And they're making them now, but the box itself, that large box, because most people couldn't put, even
that
back in the
huge
day,
cabinet.
they put that cabinet in you know like arcades, of course, but then that cabinet would have been in like sometimes in a pizza place because any
Yeah.
family place because oh I can give the kids some money and they can run over there and
Movie theaters.
they can occupy themselves
Yeah.
while we wait for our food,
Yeah.
you know, and that kind of environment, 80s, 70s, and 80s of being able to just send somebody over to go to the arcade. I mean, I don't know how many times I never went to the mall to go to the arcade. It wasn't the purpose of going to the arcade was to go to the mall. I went to the mall to buy something.
Yeah.
But while my mom was buying stuff for my brother, I was just standing around. Here's some money. Take your ass to the arcade. We'll meet you because the arcade was next to the food court. So then you could just
over there.
you could just go to the arcade and you could drop a bunch of quarters and play a bunch of games and it occupied your time. You know, and then when they were done, they could come scoop you up and you could just stand right there and go to somewhere and eat and sit down and chill. But yeah, that whole thing, it was very, I don't know, it was very tactile. You could feel it everywhere. I mean, it even smelled weird in there. It was because I mean, think about it. You've got all these CRTs and all this
Yeah,
electronics, and you know, you've got all these people, and people are sweating, and you know, you just the whole thing. Yep. Sometimes food, sometimes the drinks. You know, it's just it was a weird environment. I mean, you can see it like in Tron
Yeah.
when they go to Flynn's, and you know, it was like kind of like that vibe. No matter where you went, and I think in Stranger Things, the second season, they go to an arcade,
Yeah, they do.
and they kind of show you what that was like. But that's like a standalone arcade, whereas sometimes you could just go to one like the arcade that was inside of the bowling alley
Or inside the movie theater.
or inside of a movie theater. They had a few games or something while you're waiting for your start time or whatever. Yeah. But so those cabinets, those big cabinets, they became something that people couldn't really like. If somebody had a cabinet like that in their rec room or whatever, they had lots of money. I mean, it wasn't just because the game was expensive. It was just because they had to have a lot of space to put these cabinets, and just two of those things took up way more space. So then they started having the tabletop ones, and the tabletops were tables. So I could take my drink and I could put it on the thing, but the game was in the table. The controls were under, and I could do the controls down here, and then I could look through the glass at the CRT. Head-to-head games.
Yeah, that's what they had in China a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
those
bunch
those
of
things were awesome.
Like they had some fish game and it
No.
was like,
I'm talking about the same video games.
No,
You
I
get
know,
your Pac-Man, you get your Miss Pac-Man, you get
Yeah.
your Centipede, but it's all in this flat thing that you could sit at, and somebody could sit on the other side, and you
Yeah.
could play I could play my thing, and if it was a two versus, the screen could flip, not physically flip, but it could flip so the other person could see,
Yeah.
and that was awesome.
because
Because then you could have those things in your house. Because then they were tables.
Right.
So if nobody's playing the game, it's just a table. Oh, we should get those.
Okay.
Those were awesome.
We should get the mini
I
Nintendo.
can hear you.
No, those are not good.
Yeah, but it has
But then
all
you're
the
just
games
doing.
preloaded
Then you're
on.
just But then you're just doing. You're doing this again. And you don't have a way to watch. Well, I guess you could use your big TV downstairs.
No, we can't use a big TV. You have to get your monitor, and then I can get that one, and then.
Oh, that's right.
Hey,
I have to get my monitor so that
have
you
to
can
get the
have
big
this monitor.
and so I can
And
have
so
that.
that's
That's-
right. That's how that goes.
That's how that works.
oh my god, they're teaming up against me.
And then, but you know what? I don't know about these little mini things. I guess for you it might be really, really cool
Yeah, because I only played 2 games. I only played Street Fighter 2 and Super Mario World.
yeah. For
That's
you,
all I played.
I would say for people of your generation, it seems like they would be more popular.
Yeah, because we didn't play those.
Yeah.
Unless you had like every game
Yeah.
and I got a chance to play all of them. You
No,
only
there
had
were
2 games.
there are for the non-PC people and I think the PC you could have emulators in order to emulate the
there are a
games.
lot of emulators
But
out there.
you could play some of the old games because I hear the gamer, like PC Gamer, IGN, they talk about certain systems that had online gaming that they could download some of the old games to play on the newer systems. It wasn't everything, of course,
Right.
but they were doing that. So if you were a console person,
Yeah.
then you had that as an option. But see, I've never had, the only console I've ever had is that Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I only had Mario. And that's what came with the console. I never bought another game. I never had the opportunity to get another game.
Street Fighter.
That Christopher got that. That was your uncle. He was all about. He got that from somewhere. I don't know where he got that from. So, but see, I was off to college at that point. I came back and played that. So it's like the console thing. I kind of missed out on because I didn't have it. Like I didn't have it at home really, and then I didn't take it to university with me.
Right.
So then all of a sudden when like Sega Genesis came out and stuff like that, it was other people's stuff, and I might have played just a teeny bit of it.
Or like at a friend's house or something.
Yeah, but at university though,
Right.
and then you moved on. It was not like a big deal for me. It became bigger, I think, after I left school. I think so.
I think.
And then the next game was on a PC, and it was Tomb Raider and Doom. Those were my next games. I never played Wolfenstein.
No.
So
Wolfenstein was before Doom. I think the only console now, like if you have a PC, I think the only console worth getting now is like a Switch and a PlayStation. Because
yeah,
especially
but what else? What other consoles are there?
Xbox.
Yeah, but see now,
Because an Xbox is kind of obsolete when you have this, because you can get you can get all the games.
but you're talking about a PC. But if you have a Windows 10 PC, then I don't know if
You can get all the games.
no, but is it not worth it? There's got to be something. There's got to be something that separates an Xbox from a PC.
I mean the capabilities of it, like the 4K and all the
But I
the
got
power
4K.
of it. I know, but the power of it, like if you have an
You got
older,
4K.
Do I?
If you hook up a external monitor that's 4K, you now have 4K. You'll be able to run 4K because you have a
I
What?
never-
1050, 1060 Ti, 1060.
1060, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can run 4K. I should
I
just
think-
take your computer.
No, you shouldn't. You should give me the monitor and get your own. Get another one.
Get your own.
Get another
You
one.
actually said get your own,
Get
like this
another
was
one.
already yours.
No,
You are
get
out of your
another
damn
one.
mind, boy.
Get another one. and then I
Shit,
can
get
have
a
another
job. What the hell you talking about?
one. You've been talking about doing that for a long time.
I have no problem with passing things down, but I do have a problem with you thinking it's yours already.
No, that's not what I was saying.
I can put my foot through it or the controller through it, and
No.
then I get myself another one, and you'll get nothing.
No, you won't. You talking to
Know what I'm saying?
but you don't
No
break
punk ass parents up in this motherfucker.
Look, you don't break stuff just to break it.
Oh, trust me, after yesterday fighting with that dude, I could have put my controller through it. I could have done it. I was fighting that guy. I swear I fought him at least 20 times.
I don't know about like an Xbox versus a Windows 10 PC. I don't know what the benefit of having either, because I know
Well, with an Xbox, you get a dedicated thing for gaming.
right, and I think either that I can't remember if it's the X or if it's the S. One of them is backwards compatible, so you can go into the Xbox store and get the older games, and it is able to play them. Because one of I think the Xbox One can't do that, and the other ones, like if you had a 360, of course you could play the old games, but you wouldn't have
But you can't play the new games.
right. You wouldn't be able to do that. So I think.
But see, this
the
is
newest
why in
one
the
can
console
do the
world,
backwards compatible.
this is why the console world is kind of messed up because they're turning over consoles very quickly. I'd say within 2-3 years, you're getting a new console.
Yeah.
But then that also then eliminates you from being able to play certain games. So if you didn't buy the console but you wanted to play that game, then now you're talking about emulators and you're talking about all this other stuff.
Well, that's why a lot of them they've made them backwards compatible, like with the Switch. You can get the old games you can get the first Zelda on the Switch and play it.
Yeah, but you can get some games that they have the licensing for. See, other games, they may not have that anymore. It may not be a thing that
Yeah.
even, say, Microsoft or Nintendo or whatever, they may not be able to get
Right.
the licensing for. And what I found out listening to the nerds is sometimes the music that's in the game, they don't have licensing for that. So the music has now whatever allowed the game to have the music in it. Now they don't have the rights to that music anymore because that has expired. So you can't even play the music in a new thing, on a new thing with that old game. If you have the cartridge and it's on there, you're fine. But if you're trying to port it to something else, then all of a sudden now you've got to relicense it, and a lot of them are not doing that. So there's an issue there.
Yeah, that would be a problem. Because I didn't even think about the music of those older games.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Why are we taking a break?
Why? Because we need breaks taken. We're back. Let's get the timer started again. Go! Alright, so
I forgot one thing.
you forgot one thing about what?
I played another game. Yeah.
What did you play?
I played some more of the 20th anniversary Tomb Raider.
Old school!
Yeah.
With the mouse and the keyboard?
Yes.
Or I'm sorry, with the keyboard? Can you use the mouse on that game?
Yeah, you have to.
Really?
Yeah, because they
I-
redid it when it went on
See,
When- yeah,
you
when
gotta
they-
be
Steam.
keyboard
When they
only
when
with
they
the
put it
Tomb
on
Raider.
Steam, then they changed it so you have to use your mouse. See, she doesn't run like that.
She does!
No.
If you pull out the guns and have her run, she holds the guns up in the air and she runs. And then when you go to shoot at something, she puts them out and then she puts them back.
Oh, so they must have changed something.
See?
Because now, if you pull out the guns, you aim.
Yeah. And what does
And
she
then
do when
once
you're not aiming?
Once you start moving, she puts them away.
Oh, no. You need to get.
Like you
So
can,
it's better.
You can run and do like this, but
Yes.
as soon as you let go of the right mouse, As soon as you let go of it, she puts more.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You gotta have her running around like.
I played some more of that, and
And
I
you're trying to
didn't-
walk across stuff.
I didn't know there were dinosaurs.
Yeah, dinosaurs,
I didn't know there were
bears, dinosaurs. The bear
Well,
has been there from the
bears-
beginning.
Yeah, the bears are just whatever. They're
Until you start playing like the 10th one, and then bears are like, oh my god, I'm gonna die.
Is it the one where she's in the snow?
The beginning?
No, the one after that. Because the beginning is where she crashes. The first.
I don't remember. I've got the
You have all the new
what
ones,
is it?
don't you?
I think it's 10.
11s and 12.
Right. I've 10. Something happened at the beginning. I don't remember. Then there's 11, which I think that's the one where it's the ice and all of that.
Climbing the ice,
Right.
with the picks and stuff.
And then the next one I got, I have installed,
Haven't even opened it yet.
haven't opened it yet.
Well, you've been doing the Odyssey.
I'm scared of it. I'm
Why?
scared of it. Because 10 is kicking my ass. I'm still in the forest in 10 trying to get around these guys. I'm still trying to do that.
Yeah.
And I haven't gone back to that yet. And I stopped playing the other one. Just whole hogs just stopped because it was like, oh God. Like I'm not even gonna get past this shit. Like I need to start over.
Oh.
It's bad, man.
Yeah,
there's a section that's just not cool.
Yeah, I got into the forest and then I was like, because I played, because I was playing on your computer, and then when I got my computer, of course, I got it because it was, Steam sale.
Sale.
So
They should
I-
have like a little.
yeah,
We could all put it on our podcast.
Yeah. Oh, did you see that Valve changed their? They had it some new game. I can't remember what it was, but they have a very Marvel-esque thing with their logo now. So you know how before you had all the comics,
Keep going.
you had all the comics, and then it would form the Marvel logo.
Yeah.
Before the
Yeah.
MCU stuff.
Yeah.
They do that with their games now. So all they're like little clips and screenshots from their games, and then it forms the Valve logo, and then it goes into whatever the trailer or whatever.
Huh.
They changed that.
That's cool. Updating.
Yeah.
That's nice.
But I got into the
Do
forest.
they make good games yet?
I think they made a couple new ones.
Because they don't make that many games.
No, they did. And Ubisoft has 2 new games coming out soon. Sometime this year.
You said sometime this year, so
Yeah, because
in the
on
next
the- on the-
359 days.
Well, on the Steam page, it just says soon.
Oh, well,
They
if
don't
it's-
even have a release date for it.
Okay,
It just
if
says soon. on
if
it.
it says soon, then it's gonna be a while. I would think.
I would hope that it would be soon, but I got into the forest because I was trying to catch up, and I ended up doing what I did with The Witcher, and I was trying to catch up and just went over what I had done before. So I got into the forest, and at that point I had been playing for like 4 hours, and I'm like, okay, I need to stop now because I don't want to play anymore, and the part I just got
Yeah.
past was super stressful. And
That's how I feel about some of the gameplay, which is kind of interesting. It's like you finish an episode, kind of like the games feel like they're in episodes, so you kind of do a thing.
Oh yeah.
And it's like there's a lull, and you're not really doing anything, but they're giving you information. The character's going to go do something or whatever, and then you jump into the next thing, and you're just like, I don't want to keep going today.
Yeah.
I want to stop.
Yeah.
And so then you kind of sit there, and you're like, well, and then you kind of go, and you're just like, you start playing it. And you're not really. You're kind of half-assing it, and you're just like, escape.
Yeah.
And then you get out of it, because that's how I felt when that's how I felt yesterday when the credits came up or when the title screen came up, because I was going to stop playing.
Right.
I was literally sitting there like, let me just get past this one little area. Let me get to the next thing so it'll save.
Yeah.
Once it saves, I'm out of here.
And then I'll move.
And then all of a sudden it was like he gets on the boat, and it was just like, what? As soon as you take off, as soon as you like started to go, the title screen came up, and I was just like, Oh no! And then of course I was in the middle of fighting and my controller battery died.
Oops.
And then I really stopped.
Yeah.
I played it for a little while with the mouse and keyboard and was like, yeah, this is not cool.
It's like you have to learn it one way. You have to either start the game with mouse and keyboard or start the game with controller.
There's just too much mouse and keyboard. I don't know how people do that because it's just too much. It's too much for me to be moving my hands around, especially I think combat with mouse and keyboard and Assassin's Creed, especially this one. No, but some people they swear by it. And I got my new keyboard.
Yep, it's blue.
It's SteelSeries.
It's
I figured out that me and your mother figured out that I am a SteelSeries guy now.
Yeah.
Because I've got the SteelSeries keyboard with the SteelSeries mouse and the SteelSeries stand for my headphones. And my headphones are not SteelSeries.
No. And your keyboard inside of your computer is
SteelSeries.
Yeah.
And
my Bluetooth controller is SteelSeries.
See,
I need a headphone stand. I'm gonna go look for that when we're finished because I need one because I have nowhere to put my headphones right now.
yeah, the headphone stands you can get them in pretty much. Go to Amazon Mexico. Yeah. Amazon Mexico Prime. If you'd have told me yesterday, you could have had it today. That's how that works. It is.
But I didn't know that there were dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs are good.
Yeah, not when you're trying to fight them with puny little pistols.
Puny little pistols, that's right.
I think I need to go back in the levels because there's a shotgun somewhere.
There is.
I'm picking up ammo for it, and
There is.
I don't know where it is. And
There's a lot of hidden stuff in those games.
yeah.
Hidden doors, things to push on. You have to try everything. It's what I used to do with the old Doom.
Yeah.
And I think if you never played the old games the way we had to play them, where you actually tested every inch of every wall to see if it was a hidden doorway that went to something, if you never played that way, you miss a ton of stuff because you think, oh, I'm just supposed to just keep running forward. It's like, no, you've got to explore every inch of every room. You've got to touch every tile that she can get next to because while this one and this one and this one do nothing, this one down here is a hidden switch that opens up a thing that then you go in. Yeah, that's
And it
part of
kind
the way they made those games back in the day.
Yeah, they changed it a little bit because now when you have something to interact with, in the corner like a little icon pops up.
What the hell?
Yeah, so it kind of alerts
Oh man, that's not the way that's
you.
supposed to be,
still
man.
like the puzzles are still confusing. It doesn't help you.
No, but
it just
finding-
tells you there's a switch you can pull or there's a code that you can
finding
put there.
that stuff was a big part of those games because combat was not a thing.
Yeah.
The puzzles maybe,
You
but
shoot,
finding
you shoot the wolves
things
a little bit and then you're done and you have to do the puzzle to get
right.
out of that area.
Finding things that were hidden in there, what today people call Easter eggs. That was not we didn't have Easter eggs back then. It was literally find what they hid in the game for you to find that would help you then move through
Right,
the game
right.
if you happen to find it.
And some things, it's kind of weird because you need like a cog or a gear or something to put into a mechanism and then you flip a switch and it goes. But then you find out I didn't even have to do any of that. This isn't even the way to go. This leads to some other place that I don't need to be.
Yeah, but that's part of it.
And
You gotta
then-
remember the maps are not that big.
Right, and then
So
like
you
the
gotta explore
secret
everything.
area that you find is the freaking cog,
Yeah.
or the thing,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, so was this secret or was I supposed to get this?
Both, probably.
And then where the secret thing is, it's like, here's
I'm telling
this,
you.
the thing you needed is a secret, but
I
then
think
the
this-
secrets are even more secret.
This is the problem of going back and playing those games when you didn't grow up with those games.
Right.
Because to me, if I play Tomb Raider right now, the old one, it's this is what you do. And then the first one, like her little grab onto things and shimmying across wasn't all that much. It was very kind of obvious of where she could hold on.
Yeah.
But then as it progressed, it became much better. And her shimmy thing and her going across ropes and her walking across ropes and her walking out across and you had to tap the opposite direction because her body started to fall. And if you tapped it back, she could come back and center herself. And if you didn't, she would fall off. You know, those kinds of things. That's it. That's why it's so scary for me to play the games today because I have that mechanic in my brain, and they don't do that anymore. As soon as she starts walking, she just walks across. There is no she's about to fall off or anything.
Some games have that.
But they don't have it in the Tomb Raider games
No,
anymore.
not in the Tomb Raiders.
Now it's if she comes to a log,
It's like a
there's
cutscene.
you just walk on across.
Actually, it's not true for all things.
No, it's not true for
Because-
all things, but for that it is.
No, for all the things in Tomb Raider. Because in 10, there are some spots where you're like balancing, and you have to like just go straight.
Right.
And with a controller, it's more difficult because if you just do this, then she
Yeah, but why
starts
would you do that?
Because if you're holding forward, sometimes you slip or
No, why would you
whatever.
slip? There is no slipping. There's no controller slip. What's wrong with you? It's not a thing.
I have controller slippage.
I don't know what to tell you about your controller slippage problem. They probably make a little blue pill or something for that.
Hey,
I had
You
to
and your
take-
slippage issue.
I had to take
man.
the stick covers off because they were. It almost restricted my movement with the cover. Both covers, the rubber would hit and then I couldn't go forward, or I couldn't run.
That means you
or
slid the
whatever.
rubber off.
No, it just goes around the stick, and then it hits into the.
I don't know what this
rubber
means
bit.
that we're talking about rubbers
And sliding off the
and
stick.
sliding off the stick. I'm telling you.
Okay, let's
'Cause
move on. From
when that happens,
You're in trouble.
go see the doctor. So
I take it down.
Yeah, I
That
don't-
Stupid song.
it's awesome. Kumodi. Yeah. Actually, if you look at the controller, the rubber doesn't touch. It doesn't hit anything. So it just feels that way. Most likely, what you did is you were pushing and you were sliding you were
Yeah,
sliding it forward, and then it bumped into because it doesn't. It's nowhere near it. It's not near it when you're pushing. But yeah, I get it. I've played sometimes where I'm like, "Ah!" and the whole thing just pops right off.
Yeah.
And then it feels really weird to not have it there because you have more surface area with it on there than when it's not on there. The button gets smaller
Yeah.
just by kicking that thing off.
Yeah, because I saw someone who went.
And then the cats take it.
Oh god.
That's what happened. I was sitting there playing and I was like, "Ugh," and all of a sudden I pushed it off and I heard it hit the ground and then all of a sudden it was. Yep.
I saw someone who was showing like their setup for gaming, and
I need to set up.
they didn't have those. They had stick extenders
Why?
because I guess it. He said it gave you a bit more control.
Well, the
Like,
longer
I
the
don't-
lever, I guess. But still.
Yeah.
Lever. We said lever. There's no giggling. We didn't even say stick. We said lever.
You said longer than lever.
The longer the lever, yeah. You get
And
a little
for
more
the,
accuracy.
For the one with the paddles, you can completely take those
Yeah.
off and replace them.
Right.
But there's one that like clips onto the existing stick, and it's like an extra one that extends it. I don't
know if that's.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that's
that would help.
necessary, but
I don't know if that would increase my accuracy either.
no, because controlling. Stop laughing.
I don't know why we have mama laughing in our thing. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, there was a game. Have you seen the Kingdom Come game on Steam?
This has
Stop
become
laughing.
this thing
Why
has
did
become
this-
like so high school now.
Why?
We got
Um,
sticks and rubbers and kingdoms coming. I mean, god damn. This is the subliminal messaging when you're gaming.
Oh god.
This is why teenagers
Okay.
play them.
Anyway, it's like a first-person night simulator.
Okay.
But
I think I've seen maybe the picture, but I haven't ever. I'm not.
it looked kind of interesting.
I have no
'cause-
interest in diving into it.
Yeah, it looked kind of interesting, but then when they showed like the gameplay, it was a little like For Honor with like the blocking and dodging and that, but then it just seemed weird to be in first person. Because
Everything's coming at you.
right, because in like Assassin's Creed and For Honor, you're in third person, and it seems a bit easier to control that way because you have more FOV and all that kind of thing.
All right.
What do we?
What
have for
are you?
time?
What are you gonna play next? What are you gonna play this week? You're not gonna play much because you're gonna be doing so much
Right.
like schoolwork.
Yeah.
But
Um,
in your free time, like they used to say in China, of course, because you get no free time now. In your free time, what are you gonna play? Candy Crush with friends?
no, I'm gonna play Candy Crush.
Why?
Cause I don't
Breathage? We didn't even talk about breathage. Oh, he doesn't like breathage. I have delved so far.
Yeah,
I have gotten so much stuff that now for me to get more stuff, I don't have anywhere close to go. I have to go to the end of in breathages, of course, you're in space and you run out of air.
Yeah.
You have these machines that have air, like giant balloons that you can
Yeah.
get air from. I have gone to the
Oxygen
edge
stations.
of my oxygen where I'm about to die.
Oh.
Filled up in a station, then gone to the edge of the next breath
Oh.
and put a station, and then kept going. Yeah, that's how far I've gotten so far. In one direction, because the ship is essentially, the debris is all going one way.
Yeah.
So I've gone like 2 stations and then whatever the end and like half of the next breath so I can come back to the station. That's how far out I've gone just to now get metal. That's where I am in breathage. So you can see the ship that keeps going out there, like it's still out there. I don't know how you would get out there without those stations because you'd have to keep going and keep going and
But aren't
I haven't found
there
glass
objectives?
yet. I haven't found. There's glass. I found 1 ball of lead paint. I need 2. So I still can't upgrade the suit yet. So I'm still like. I've used up almost all the resources that are near me, and I still don't have other resources. So I don't know if. I'm trying not to do what we did with Subnautica.
What?
Because we kept using wikis and finding out where things were
Yeah.
because we were playing the early access, and you would find things, and then you could go into the debug console and give yourself stuff, and I'm trying not to do any of that. I'm trying to just kind of feel my way around and find things.
We really didn't use the debug console that much in Subnautica.
But you could try things out,
yeah,
and
you could just have a different save and
Uh-huh.
just try a new thing.
and you knew where things were.
Right.
And I don't know, like maybe the suit is not available yet, but I don't know that.
Right.
But I'm trying not to go to anybody's wiki or anything to find out
So
that
when I
there is no suit yet. The suit is there. But you can't really build it yet because there is no glass or something or whatever.
Yeah, when I played Subnautica last, I was still going to the wiki.
Yeah, but now going to Subnautica's wiki is not really helpful.
No, it is actually.
No, I'm saying it's not like it's not gonna make you play better. You're
No,
just
it's
find things faster.
You're just trying to find it because, I didn't get as far as you did, because you played way more Subnautica.
Grind, baby.
Because you had bases everywhere. You had
Grind.
like the modification stations and all those things. I never got there. The
I've
furthest
got like
I got.
moon pools in every base.
Yeah, the furthest I got was the prawn suit with the moon pool. I never even got a Cyclops.
Yeah, well, I have
In
I
survival.
have a Cyclops, which is the biggest ship that you can have. I have the Cyclops, and then I have a locker that has all the Cyclops parts. So if my Cyclops gets destroyed, all I have to do is go to that locker and build another one.
Yeah,
Which it takes a lot of stuff to build one Cyclops.
Right. Yeah, I never got there. So a lot of the things I never found.
Shit, I could take a base apart and put it together. Like I could like take a base up totally apart and build it somewhere else, and it would be like this gigantic big thing because of all the materials that went into the one base.
Yeah, cause like you knew where stuff was because you went out and just kept going, and then
grinding,
and then you stumbled upon like this fragment or this thing, and I didn't do that.
I was getting my grind on.
I watched you play, and I was like, oh, that's where that is, and went over there right away, scanned the stuff, and then came back.
Mm-hmm. That's no good.
But
see,
totally
Subnautica's got
forgot.
its new thing that's supposed to be coming out sometime, right? It should be coming in early access at some point.
Yeah, I don't know when. Apparently they have some new creatures.
They got lots of
They
stuff.
got more stuff.
They got lots of stuff.
'Cause-
They need to come on.
Yeah.
Shimon!
I wanna see.
Because it's on the same planet. That's the thing. That's the key.
Yeah,
You're
it's
not
crazy. 'Cause
It's not Subnautica like you're going to a new place. You're going back to the exact same planet.
I mean, you're a different person, but you're still.
Well,
you're not
but
going. Technically, you're not going back. Bitch.
Okay, when I say you, I mean you
As
as
the
in the player,
Yeah.
not you as in the character. But you're
Yeah.
coming back and you're on the same planet. What would be awesome is if you could get to your other stuff. Like if it
Yeah.
wasn't a whole game, it was a part. Like if you already own the game, it was more like DLC that
or like an expansion or something.
added this area that you could go and bring your ship. Like you could bring the Cyclops there. It just took a
Yeah.
really long time or something.
Yeah,
that
it-
would be awesome.
It would be kind of interesting to go and like just find a map of where it actually is in the world, and then say it's that way. Okay, I'm going that way.
Why do you have to find a map? If you came back and your stuff is still there, all your stuff is still there, or the stuff of the previous guy because you're a woman when you come back.
Yeah.
If you came back to the planet or came to the planet for the first time, and all of that old guy that took off in the rocket, all of his stuff is still there. So all the vehicles, all the suits, everything, all the resources that they collected, it's all still sitting there. And you could then go back there and grab stuff and use the resources and come back. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because then,
I think you can still use the prawn suit.
well, you could use whatever, but
it's mostly on land though. And
But what could you do with a Cyclops in this world? Maybe the Cyclops doesn't work in this world, but
Right.
maybe you can dismantle it
Yeah.
and use the resources that are in it to build something else. So that keeps you from having to go find everything new all over again
Yeah.
on the same planet.
So I went in creative. I went in creative and finished the game, and did something that you can't ever do, and went down to the lava zone in a friggin' sea moth, which was hilarious because I was just watching the depth keep going higher and higher and higher, and then it like got red at some point.
Which
and-
means you'd have been dead.
Right, everything would have been destroyed at that point. But I went down, I went and solved the Emperor, I opened the portal, I got the stuff to cure yourself, I did all the things, and then I went out, and it spits you out at the gun island, and all of her little babies are swimming around over there, and I turned it off, got in the rocket, and left, and it actually shows you. It's not just like, because it's a cutscene, so you can't look around. But when you go into the atmosphere, it turns you and makes you look at this icy spot, and then as soon as you are like, "Whoa, what's that?" it goes, and you're going through the phase gate to get back to Altera. And when you get back there, your little AI HUD chick, she's like, yeah, you can't land until you pay the fee for all the stuff you've collected.
Pay the money, man.
Because when you get your first diamonds, she says, don't forget everything that you've collected and made, it all belongs to Altera, so you have to reimburse them for all this stuff. and I think at the end of the game, you have like 3 million credits or something that you have to pay, and it's a ridiculous amount of money, and you can't land until you pay.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice if they could connect them so that you could move, even if it doesn't happen when the game first comes out, but you could move back and forth between and it becomes just another biome. You
Right,
could move
right,
back and
right.
forth, but the movement back and forth might mean that it takes a long time for
Yeah.
you to get from
And-
here to there.
I think you would only, like, if they did do that, you'd only have to make that trip once, because they have the phased gates that you can build in that. So
Then you
in,
could
right,
build
in
it
theory,
and then
you
get back.
could just build one in your base in the Arctic part, build one in the dead base or the overgrown base from previous game, and then you just walk through it.
That'd be cool. It'd be neat to be able to, at some point, have that connection.
Yeah.
Just because the resources shouldn't change because you're on the same planet.
Right. All the materials.
All the materials are
Even
still
though
the same.
creatures and everything are going to be different.
But that makes sense. You're in a different biome, right? You're in a different place.
True.
They should change.
I think-
All right.
I think the only thing that's going to stay the same is the peepers,
Oh God.
and even they're going to be different.
I think they got Arctic peepers now, right?
Right, but that's the only like consistent animal that sort of changes with the different biomes.
We'll see. I'm not looking forward to an early access Subnautica-like game because breathage is enough. You need one of those at a time.
Yeah.
Having more than one of those at a time is just like, I'm gonna die, and the
Yeah.
music and the sound effects, and it can be so stressful. All right, do we have anything? What can we tell the people? How do we tell the people to find us? Okay, so if you go to the YouTubes,
Isn't that where these are going?
they're going on the YouTubes under the Traveling Fars.
Okay.
Because, of course, we're brought to you by the Traveling Fars.
Should we make a separate channel?
I don't know if I want to make a separate channel. I think we can.
Good.
I don't know if it's on the YouTubes. I think we can. We can separate, but still have the one Traveling Fars umbrella.
Can we?
Yeah, there's a way to do that. I just don't. I haven't looked at it enough. So it's something we have to think about.
Because I know you can just have like a different channel, or like on my channel it says either like associated channels or whatever, and you and mom.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing because those are different accounts.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. So if you go to the Traveling Fars on YouTube, you'll find us. Where else are we?
Have you been posting the things in the description?
Posting what things?
Links to social media stuffs?
Well, yeah, I give them the sheet. Are you somebody calling you?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna answer it.
Ooh. So YouTube. I guess right now we're just on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Should I give them all the other Traveling Far stuff?
Do you want to?
I don't want to.
No.
It'll be in the description. I hate it when people do this. I absolutely hate it. It's like YouTube is old enough now. You don't have to say it's in the description down there. Down there. Guess what's down there right now?
Like and subscribe.
You want to know what's down there? It's not
A description.
a description.
It's like and
But
subscribe.
you definitely need to like and subscribe everything we do because we do
Like,
it.
subscribe, and share.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, you have to share. You have to share with
Tell a
people.
friend. Tell 2 friends. So they can tell 2 friends, and they can tell 2 friends.
Tell your
And
great aunt who has a buck tooth and a mustache.
We don't talk about her.
Aunt Edna.
We don't talk about. We don't have that conversation. We don't. She.
See, my
Stop it.
impulse is just to do my outro, and
You don't get an outro. Do you have outro music? You did intro music. Ooh, we have to use the intro music on the outro. That's fine. I do it all the time.
do you?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
it's playing right now. You just can't hear it.
Oh.
They can hear it.
because it's in post.
I'm in post already.
Okay, I'll make an outro.
No, you don't have to make an outro.
No, I'm gonna do it.
No, you don't have to.
But I'm still gonna do it.
It's not necessary.
I'll do it and email it to you.
Nah. Say goodbye to the people. Oh god.
See, this one is only short. This is a short